And it was a big game of action on the weekend at Woogaroo Field, and the crowd turned out for Goodna, who were taking on West End Bulldogs in the IRL A grade, and the Goodna Eagles got presented with the minor premiership for their win there. They've clinched the top of the table, and it was a huge day for the club as well. Something like the biggest turnout that the club captain Ramon has ever seen.
Yeah, I was down there. There was a big crowd there, and they were pretty vocal too. It was a pretty close game. The scoreline probably didn't reflect the game. Goodna ran away with it in the last 10 minutes, but I know West End put on a pretty good show.
Yeah, there's plenty of feeling for both West End and Goodna as well, playing for the Camera O'Brien Shield as well.
Yeah, Matty was a bit of a character. I played a bit of footy with him, and he's run water for Goodna. He's sort of been around a lot of clubs in Ipswich, and a lot of people would have had a lot of feeling there, and the crowd was there to support the day, and it was good to see his family there as well.
And it was also the Goodna Indigenous Appreciation Day as well. Goodna ran out in a special jersey dedicated to their Indigenous heritage as well across the field, and it seemed to lift them as well. They played a fantastic game and showed exactly the same kind of strength that they've had all season.
Yeah, well, the Vic jerseys were great too, and obviously the Camera Day was a success as well there. It was good to see his family there, and his daughter presented the man of the match to Ramon at full time. But the Indigenous thing, it worked really well. It was done by Zach Lemberg, Corey Kurt, and Ramon. They wanted to...
Corey actually designed the jersey, I hear.
Yeah, so... The jerseys went off really well. I was actually the auctioneer of the jerseys after the game there, and they raised just over $5,000 for the jerseys. So
fantastic.
So it was a great effort, and Goodna deserved the minor premiership. They've been the best team all year. So
good to see some funding for the club as well with that $5,000 from the jersey auctions. There was also another $1,000 that they're donating to charity as well. Yeah,
they're donating it to the Kinchilla Boys Home, the Kinchilla Aboriginal Boys Home there. So the day it was good for Goodna, it was good for their charity, and it was good for their supporters, and it was good that the West End supporters did turn up to recognise the champion bloke.
Unfortunately, it wasn't the result West End were looking for, but they were always going to know they were up against it with such a big day around the club.
Yeah, no, definitely. There was one shining light. Young Tupu Lasardi had a really good game. He's probably been the shining light of the Bulldogs this year. Bigger and better things to come for him, I'm sure. But the Dogs put in a good fight, but just weren't good enough on the day.
I know the Bulldogs captain Brooke. He was lauding Tupu. He says he's one of the shining stars he's seen in recent times, especially for a young player. He's pushing for him to join the Jets at some stage. Do you think he'd be a good chance?
He'd definitely be a good fit over there. He's the type of kid that I think Ben and Shane could take a liking to. He come to Australia from New Zealand on a rugby league scholarship with Hippie High, and called himself a centre, but he's found his spot in the back row, and he's got great footwork, strong, a bit of speed there as well.
Yep. He's got the full package.
He does definitely.
Excellent. Well, based on another win for the Eagles, how do you guys see them shaping up coming to the finals?
Well, I think if they keep the same team, obviously Zach was back last week there.
It's a huge boost for him as well.
So that was a huge boost. The only downside for him, Mitch McNamee, I believe he fractured his kneecap last week and may have done some ligament damages, so he looks like gone for the season. But Alex Tupis didn't play last week, so I'm sure they're going to just shuffle him around a little bit. But they have been the form team. They've done all the little things right. The discipline's been great, so if the discipline can hold through the semi-finals there, and I'm sure Laurie Campbell will won't be doing too much more different than what he's done for the 17 rounds once the semis come.
And Jay, the hard work's been put in all season. Do you think they can finish it off?
Like we said, they're the form team of the comp. Someone's got to come knock them off their perch, don't they?
Excellent. Well, it's going to be interesting to see who that team is that can knock them off. But we'll be looking forward to this weekend to see how all the teams go this weekend in the last few rounds of the IRL.